welcome back to our podcast, my darling. We have Fiona from Unleish Your Mind. Can you let us know who you are, my honey, and give us a wee bit of details of what it is that you do?
Well, so hello, nice to see you again. It's been a wee while since I last spoke to you, but I am Fiona Leishman and I run a company called Unleish Your Mind. What do I do, Justine?
Oh, long list. I love it.
It's a huge long list, but everything I do centres around the whole person, the mind, the body, the emotions and the soul. And it's all about bringing people back to themselves.
Yeah.
So the list is long, but there's a reason, because as part of my journey, I've gathered the skills and the tools, I've used the techniques for myself and my own journey from A to B, and I'll go into that in a minute. But I offer sound, movement, energy, breath work, and empowerment. I think that's them all.
I love
the reason I offer that is because for every person, the prescription is different. And people will come to me to a sound bath. And from a sound bath being maybe the first experience of a quiet state, a meditative state, from a sound bath, they then might come for some energy healing and the Reiki. During the Reiki, we might end up having a conversation, and then that's when I bring in things like the NLP and the life coaching. And I'm also studying body psychotherapy at the moment, and that's where breath work comes in. So it's like the box just keeps opening. I also put on a lot of events, and a big part of the events are always the empowerment. So all of this stuff that I offer is about bringing people back to their power centre to remind themselves who they are. Even though everybody has all these experiences in life that chip away at us and we get lost in it, and we feel lost and we feel drained and we feel tired, or we know that this big traumatic thing happened and we've never quite moved forward from it. Everything I offer is about slowly bringing the person back to their own centre, bringing that energy body back in, bringing the physical body, the mental body, bringing it all together. So I offer empowerment things as well, like breaking arrows with your neck, walking on glass, even firewalks. And the point of those are big, powerful things that your brain will say, you can't do that. And then
mine did when you asked me, I was like, no.
Sure, you walked on fire. But your brain will say nope. And then there's like a couple of seconds in of doing the activity where me as the facilitator can feel the person's energy change, can see the body change, and can see that belief, the amazement at themselves, their pride. It's like somebody just flicks that switch right back on, and they complete the arrow break, or they finish the glass walk, or they get off the end of the fire walk, and they're like, boom, back here, right at their centre, back in themselves. And that moment, I mean, it's like the split second moment, that moment I never take for granted. That is the moment I celebrate for everybody, because as the facilitator, it's amazing. But that's the kind of stuff you also get from breath work when you're taking. So I'm a integrative somatic breathwork practitioner. So this is a way of working with the body, really, and letting the body lead. Because at the end of the day, we think our minds are in control, but actually our bodies are the boss. Our bodies remember the stories, it holds the traumas, it shows up and it does the protective, the survival strategy, the stuff that it needs to do before the mind has a chance to get involved. So working with the breath really gets us into the body. And during breath work, during those week after week sessions of using the breath work and the body psychotherapy, you really get to see and unravel the story, the trauma, and you get to see those moments for people, those little wins. for people. You get them the day after they've had a Reiki session, or as soon as they get off the bed, they sit up and they go,
oh my God. Yes.
They wake up from an hour's sound bath and they float out the door on a Sunday night and they say to me, my head is really, really calm. Do you know what? So simple, but so effective. We don't need to spend loads of money bringing ourselves back to ourselves. We don't need to have gadgets or anything. We're literally using ancient practice, breath, sound, movement, and energy to bring people back to who they are, to like wake something up or realign something that's just been out of whack a wee bit. So that's what I do.
Just that.
Just that.
Honestly, no, I love watching the videos that you post on social media, especially like with like the fireworks and the arrow breaking, because you can see even the amazement in their eyes that I done that. Like I just you seen me, I can't believe, like it's the belief that like, oh my God, did they have a like outer body experience?
Yeah.
But it's like no, they've
but
done
it's actually that. They come back into their body. That's what happened. They come back right into their body, and it's amazing.
Because you can see that from just those little snippets that you share online, and that's only a small part of your events. And it's so nice to see that there's someone out there that's doing the healing work, helping people heal, because that's what we're here to do, is help people on that journey. We've all came from all different backgrounds, but we've all been on a bit of a, how would we describe it? Do you know what I mean? We've all been on some sort of way that we know like life needs to be better than this. We need to figure it out in some sort of way. And we can all have different ways of getting into this line of work. And I think when we turn into the healer side of it, we're eager to find other people. We're like, right, let's like come together so we can help heal more people, because there's not enough light workers out there that's doing this amazing work that you do. So what would I'm trying to think of the best word to describe. Would you say you've had like a pinnacle moment, like that was a wee bit like a ha? Because I did the kind of like shook me up and be like, right, Justine, you need to make changes now. You need to stop pointing the finger outward. You need to start sorting this
100%.
out. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to think of the word to describe that.
I think they call it like your tower moment, or your, you know, these are the kind of words that the cards bring, like you're about to have a tower moment. Well, I've had a couple of them in my lifetime. And the more you fight them, the worse state you get yourself in. And the more you go with it, the better the outcome is really what I've experienced. Aging experience has taught me. Keep fighting it, and all we're doing is going to keep damaging yourself, and life doesn't get better. But it's those big crisis moments, and I get a lot of people that come to me in crisis.
Yes.
You know, marriages are splitting up, or they feel completely lost. They've hit rock bottom with their mental health. Not everybody, but a lot of people they do. That's the reason that they've booked a Reiki session, because they just need something. I came to this because my friend said this might help. I just need something. And then when you start to open the box, you know, people for years have like kept the lid on it, kept the face on it, kept the coping mechanism in place, you know, going out, having a drink at the weekend, a bottle of wine during the week, or shopping like mad, or Netflix, that's, you know, like just blasting their life with telly. Avoid. Even exercise can sometimes be the avoidance, you know, like, so things that we think that are healthy for us can actually be used as a way, like running away from stuff. I've done that.
Happened, but then obviously I need to go out for a run. Like you're literally
running away from it.
And I don't, and I think a lot of people, like just like you were saying, obviously with exercise, like, oh well, I'll go to the gym and clear my mind. It doesn't really clear your mind. It might physically make you feel better and make you feel exhausted so that you can sleep, but it's not dealing with what's going
So
on with this muscle?
I work with different theories for this body
Yes.
work that I do, and one of them is the 5 body types.
Right,
And
okay.
sorry for anybody that goes to the gym all the time, right? But this, like, we're pure
We're
going to
not,
pick
we're
on
not
you for a
following
wee minute.
anybody else to the gym. No. Definitely not
But
doing that.
there are 5 body types I work with, and our body shape, our survival strategies, personality, characteristics, all of those kind of things are developed in the womb and in the very early years of our life.
Right.
So we have 5 different types, and a very a really easy one to spot is someone that is always perfectly dressed, excellent at the gym, perfect body shape, like has in really quite slim and toned, and their house is immaculate, their kids are immaculate, life's immaculate, everything looks perfect. Those kind of people are very much in control, and emotion might scare them. So because you can't control emotion, so when emotion comes for somebody of that body type, they really struggle because that's really out of control. And actually, for them, emotional people are not people that they can actually cope with within their circle, because it's too out of control for them. Whereas then you've got your other kinds of people, like so another one's your psychopath. More common name for that is your narcissist. They've got a particular body shape. They're more like triangular, so wide at the top, down into a triangle at the waist.
Right, okay.
Yep, the wee skinny legs, right? They tend to go into certain kinds of jobs that are more controlling types of jobs. We all know the common terminology for narcissists, the behaviour, the manipulation, the control, all that, right? We don't need to go into it. No. But the flip side of that is they're very good at getting stuff done.
Yes.
So every body type has a positive and a negative. But if we're always working with a negative and we're using that to like self-sabotage ourselves, beat ourselves up, keep ourselves very controlled or in a box, then at some point our mental health's going to catch up with us.
Yes.
And then when it all falls apart, that's where we hit a crisis. And we've got 3 other body types. I fall into the one that always is giving and nurturing, and that's actually that kind of stuff is actually like self-harm. So I'm very good at self-harming through my caregiving tendencies, my over-giving, the one that wants to save the wee bird, and that wee bird being those psycho-narcissists that have those sad little stories that made them those kind of people. I'm that's my type, and that has been my story, and that's been to my detriment. So as I follow this path, I am now unpicking all of that for myself. But as I learn all of this, I'm like, wow, as soon as somebody turns up and starts telling me something, or actually they're like their body shape, like I can actually look at certain people and be like, yeah, I know what's happening here. Or like I get a quick glimpse into, I bet they are like such and such, or I bet this happens for them, or I bet they think like this.
Oh my God.
It's so accurate. It is amazing. So yeah. So I feel some days I feel totally exhausted.
But it's
constantly
so
analysing everybody.
No wonder though. It literally, my friend isn't a business analyst. She will love this podcast episode because the description, like she'll be like, "Oh, I need to learn more about that."
Honestly, it is fascinating. It is fascinating, and actually, you know, we think trauma happens. You know, like I was 10 and this thing happened, or I was 20 and this thing happened. Well, actually, the reason, or maybe not the reason it felt so scary was because the safety aspect was not in place very early on in your life. So actually during maybe your time in the womb or your early years, something energetically, physically or emotionally has happened that has impacted you. And obviously at that stage you have no words to verbalise that. So the body takes that on. The body takes that on, and the mind then tries to navigate and keep you safe. So you
Right.
navigate life through that. So when something or multiple things happen over the years,
Yeah.
you're already programmed to navigate it. So even though they're uncomfortable, you already
Yeah.
know that although uncomfortable is your version of, I don't know if the word safe is right, because a lot of these things are unsafe, but you
Yeah.
already know the energy of that. So it just it just goes along, and the body
Aye.
just keeps building it in and getting tighter and holding that emotion, holding that trauma, and the body tightens up and tightens up and tightens up, and the mind knows, well, in this situation, we've experienced this before, we just do this. We fight, flight, or
Yeah.
we know how to survive it. Even though we might be up here rattling, we know this from being in the womb. We know this from being 3 months old. We know this because we don't speak up because it was never safe to do so when we were tiny.
Yeah.
When we're 10 or 20, we still don't speak up
No.
because we've never known it to be safe to speak up.
Yeah.
So
That,
that's what I
yeah,
do.
that hits home. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people listening to this episode's going to be like very interesting and very like, do you know what I mean? Oh, I didn't. Oh, do you know what I mean? And I feel as
Mhm.
if that's what's going to kind of, like you say, open a box. Do you know what I mean? It's going to
Aye.
creep open a wee bit to hopefully allow people to take the plunge and start working
Mhm.
and start healing themselves.
You
To
know,
just,
it's that thing though you were saying, like, how did you end up? You went from saying it's everybody else's fault to
yeah.
actually, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And see, when you understand things like that, why am I doing this? Why do I feel like this? Why am I attracting this kind of
Yep.
relationship? Why am I constantly getting into cycles with people that end up like this? Why is this happening?
Yep.
When you bring it right back to, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so using the body types, I'm able to bring people back to that place.
Yeah.
Who are you? Let's go right back. You know, and some people don't know how their mum was feeling while she was pregnant, or if
Of
something
course.
happened to her while she was pregnant, or the very early years. Some people don't know their story.
Mm.
But using the energy and the breath, we're able to come back to places of being able to settle things in a way that these things happened. Here's some acceptance that
Yeah.
that is actually part of you. That's part of
Yeah.
your experience. We can keep going and being angry,
Yeah.
or we can start to bring some sort of forgiveness or
Yeah.
safety, how to regulate our nervous systems, how to feel safe. We start to bring in some tools to actually acknowledge this exists within me. My body responds like this. My fight or flight kicks in. My survival strategies are, but actually I'm tired of this story.
Yeah.
I'm ready to change it. So let's put the past to bed. But we're not just shutting the door on it and chucking it in a box. We're
No.
literally integrating it, accepting that it exists, working through it and healing it. And that doesn't happen overnight. These
No.
things take time, and they come in layers as
100%.
well. But when we can get to a point where we go, actually, I show up in relationships with narcissists because within me, I've always needed to take care of people. Why have I always needed to take care of people? What's my story? What happened
Mhm.
to me? For me, over the last, and actually, one of these things happened just recently where I was doing breath work, and I learned something. And my mum used to always tell me that from a little girl, the first words I could say were, I'll do it myself, right? I'll do it myself. Now, I will tell anybody I'm a very hyper independent person, and it is now at 42 to my detriment. It exhausts me. I never
Mhm.
ask for help, and when I do, I always expect to be let down. So I don't
Mhm.
ask for help.
Yeah.
And another thing she'll tell me is that when you were little, you screamed yourself to sleep. Like you were always crying. She could never settle
Oh,
me. And I learned some things about the nervous system
right.
just recently in regards to babies and babies doing that. And actually, when babies cry to the point that they fall asleep, they're actually oh, this is going to sound horrible, but they're actually like kind of fainting because they've literally gave up. Like the nervous system is so exhausted, they have literally ran out
of energy.
What does that teach a baby? If nothing
You
can soothe a baby, you never feel safe.
Yeah.
So you never feel safe, and it's only you that's going to be able to fix things because nobody else can fix it for you. So at 42, I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted constantly just doing this on my own. And then I start to unpick this, go into a breathwork session.
Yeah.
And through that breathwork session, I get this massive whoosh of black fear. And when I felt that fear, my whole body started to run so I'm lying on a mattress and my body is like trying to run away from this fear that was literally in my stomach, that felt that it came from somewhere deep within me.
Yeah.
And as I started to settle and accept that nothing was going to harm me, I was very aware that that'd always been in me. So that was quite a big one. And when I came home and I spoke to my mum about it, we had a chat. And I said, I feel like this fear has been in me since even before I was born. And her response really quickly, and I always take people's first words or first thoughts or instincts, like you'll know yourself. Here's your answer. If you listen really clearly, you'll get your answers really quickly. And they're always the honest ones. And she went, oh, I nearly miscarried you a couple of times and I had to be in the hospital and I was really scared my whole pregnancy. But that fear was transferred fear because it wasn't my fear. You know, during that breath work, I'm like, this is in me.
It was your mum's
is not me.
But you were in her while that fear was going on. So it was wrapped around you. Oh my God.
So for 42 years, I have been, I'll do it myself because nobody else will fix it.
Yes.
I have a real safety issue. Like I am starting to feel safe now. Oh, hang on.
Oh.
And so I'm starting to feel safe now, you know, because I'm learning what's went on for me. Like I'm learning my story here. But through that, because I've never felt safe, that has been a part of my story when I get into relationships, because I've always been looking for the man that will help me feel safe. So my dad died when I was a teenager. So I think there's a big part of that as well. Like every time I look, you know, go into a relationship, I'm always looking for somebody that's strong, that's confident, that'll protect me. These are not the right people that I'm looking for. I'm not finding people that'll keep me emotionally safe. I'm looking for like the one that'll fight the bear, because for me the bear's that big bit of fear.
Yes.
But actually they're really actually quite scary people. So I go to them like, oh, I'll save you, you poor little bird with your sad little story, because you're the rubbish upbringing. And really what's happening is I'm like, but if I save you, will you protect me and take this fear off of me? No, they're not, because all they've done up to this point is added to that, because the wrong strategy was in place for me, so I can say, oh, these men broke my finger, these men slapped my face, these men destroyed my life. They did, but I stepped into that relationship because of things that were going on for me. So at this point, I'm like, well, we acknowledge that this existed.
Yeah.
Those relationships existed. Now I can understand for a reason, because the type of people that come to me for support, this is my story. This is my journey. And I would never have been in this position now if these things had never happened, because they were the points that got me to crisis, that made me go and get help, to find out why I'm the way I am, heal certain aspects of myself that I was very aware of. But they've brought me to this point. They've like fueled my determination to take this wider. And it's not a hate against men, by the way. Like,
no,
I don't hate men, but I do now understand my journey with that.
Do you know what I mean? You're sharing your story, you're sharing what's happened to you to mold you into the individual that you were. For you to obviously navigate out and go, right, I'm not, this skin that's on me isn't really mine.
No.
Like, this is an armor that's on me that I actually don't need. This because I can do this, and I can find someone that will emotionally support me and will support me in that way and will be my strength.
Yeah.
But it might not be a 6-foot Jason Momoa lookalike. Do you know what I mean? But
the next one will not be somebody that whacks me, you know.
No.
But understanding, you know, this started in the womb.
Yeah.
This started in the womb, and it's took me to being 42. I started this work a couple of years ago with the body stuff. It took me to this point to say, actually, now I can understand where the dots join up.
Yeah, definitely.
That it's not an overnight thing.
No.
It's even, you know, like, say, yesterday I was away for a healing and a whole load of stuff came up through that, but it was just more information about, you know, this is how you show up in life. This is how you feel. When I'm around men, my body shakes. I've put a post out recently about that. My body shakes. And for years and years, I drank alcohol to numb that, right? To keep down, get on with it, and it'll be fine because this knight in shining armour will, you know, even though he's a bit crap the day, he'll be brilliant tomorrow, he'll be a lovely person and he'll save me. No.
Yeah. No.
I drank and I drank and I drank because I didn't feel safe. My body was shaking with fear. And even now, I've done so much work and I understand so much of it now, and I've been sober for nearly 6 years. Now I'm like, I can feel the shake. I can feel it. And actually, do you know what? I'm okay with that because my body is telling me something. It's keeping me safe, but we're going to start to work with this and remind the body, you're safe. I make better decisions now. I understand this better. So you'll see me walking about sometimes like, okay. And I'll stop in the middle of supermarkets or places and I regulate myself because I'm now having to reparent myself and teach myself I'm safe. I'm safe. You're safe. And I'm not going to make rubbish decisions about men anymore. And I'm not going to put myself in positions where I'm in harm. So it's a huge rewiring of the system. And that's what I work with people to do as well. And I'm very honest about the fact that healing never ends. You just get to the next layer and it gets easier because you have the tools, the techniques, the awareness, you know, and then you're like, whoa, I was absolutely fine yesterday. And then bam, I'm down and I'm greeting about this thing that I've not thought about for 20 years. That's because your body feels safe enough now to start to release this.
Yep. And that's it.
And you know what? See, the more you accept it, the quicker you come back for it, because the quicker you can start to understand and join the dots of what's happening, where it's came from, and how it's connected. And the quicker you come back for it. But the more we resist and we go to things like drugs, alcohol, avoidance stuff, the longer it takes. You know, you cannot escape.
No.
Anything that's needing healed, it will just keep coming back. You can try and numb it, but it'll come back. It'll come back in the form of anxiety, depression, broken legs, like chest infections. Your body will literally knock you out.
And I don't think a lot of people realise though, like how much them not dealing with their trauma does cause illnesses. Like my other half, like the bottom of his back is just full of tension knots, but I know that is years worth of having to hold on or be, do you know what I mean, and be in that fight or flight, not knowing what's happening. Do you know what I mean? And that is, do you know what I mean? I know for a fact that that's years, do you know what I mean? And it probably goes back to childhood, but even like you're saying, even linking that to obviously birth as well, even before even birth, like that's fascinating.
Even your birth. So I also offer cold water rebirthing sessions.
Oh,
which are so cool. And they're not just for birth trauma, but even your birth can have a massive impact on you. So, yeah. where you're born, how you're born,
Yeah.
born in hospitals, how hospitals are set up, the coldness, it was their touch, was their connection, was all that. And people think trauma is a massive car crash or PTSD or something big and bad that happened.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not.
It's not. It's
all
like,
the tiny wee things.
Yes. And I feel as if we can all relate to each other with trauma. We might not have the same story, but that feeling is the feelings. Like, I'm like, well, I can relate to you on that feeling. I felt like that when I've been in a different situation. Like, do you know what I mean? But I think a lot of people, that's their fear, is they feel as if they need to thank, if someone has done something to them, they need to thank that, like, be forgiveful to that person. And it's like, be forgiveful to yourself and accept that, as you said, that has happened to you and that is part of your story. And I'll always say, like, I know I've not been through anything near like what you have and what other people that I know have been through, but I can be empathic. Do you know what I mean? I can be empathic to them and be like, I'm here for you if you're needing to let it out, because I don't want you holding on to it and letting that fest and be like waking up like you're physically running in your bed and like you're running from this fear that's literally leaving you. It's crazy. And I think a lot of people are fear and scared to go into.
People come into me and they say, I don't want to open the box because I'm scared what might come out. It doesn't all come out in a big, like it's not like opening floodgates. It comes out bit by bit and enough for you to cope. Like, you literally are stronger than you think you are. And that's where the empowerment stuff comes in. It's like, you are much stronger than anything. You've got to this point in life, you've got here. You're stronger than anything that you could be faced with that's in your own head.
Yeah.
But it will come out slowly and in a way that you can cope with. And if you do it in a place that is supported, then you will, you'll get through it, because you'll be given that support, you'll be given techniques and the space to do that. There are things out there that I worry about, like people going to ceremonies where they're injecting themselves with spiritual plant medicine, or they're going on retreats where they're going to be doing breath work. If you're going to go do these things, you need to know the facilitator is actually capable of supporting what might come out the other end, and not that you go and you have a lovely time, and then the 3-4 days, 6 weeks afterwards, you're still like, actually something came up for me and I don't know what to do about it. Like, you need to be really discerning about, if you're going to go do these things,
do your homework.
There is a chance that stuff's going to come up for you, and you need to be really aware that once it's up, and it needs supported. And if you don't and you try to shove it back down, you're going to cause yourself damage. So that's why I do so much. It's like one thing leads to the next. I do 2 sound baths a month, and those are literally about people coming into a hall, lying down and getting time out. They're on a Sunday night at 7:00, and they, see the amount of people that come to them, and then they'll come back the next time with a friend, and then the next time the friend will come and she'll bring somebody else, and it's
Are you
amazing.
At the same venue for that?
Same venue, yeah.
So where's
they're
that?
in St Andrews Church Hall in Carluke. They're 2 a month that I do, and they're brilliant. They're excellent. But it's
how much are those?
They're £12.
No, only £12. Oh, bargain!
I know. They actually are. They're beautiful nights.
Increase a wee small increase.
I know, but I know that, right? I know that.
Inflation and all that.
But sometimes it's the first thing that somebody's ever done.
I know. But
and if it's too expensive, then so there's a little bit of that goes on. But there's only 2 a month.
I know you've had that price for.
Well, I've actually put it up this year. Used to be a £5.
No, I know that was at the beginning, but I know that you've been £12 for a while. That's been
February. Aye.
Has it been funny doing that?
No, I put it up in
Oh,
February. For
right,
a tenner.
okay.
Only a tenner though. But sometimes the sound baths are the first thing that somebody will come and try because they don't need to talk to anybody. They come in, they lie down,
Yes.
and they just try something. So that's amazing. After that, though, the sound baths are great though because when I'm walking around
Yeah.
with the drum, the rattles, the chimes, I get drawn to people. So I can feel like there's something stuck in somebody's power centre, or
Yes.
we've got a head running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. The tools go. Like
Yeah.
I'm just person. I'm like, oh right, we've got to the back
Well,
of the
that's
room
the
now.
thing. We're just the middleman with the energy. Like
Aye,
we're just that vessel that
100%.
allows the healing and the energy to flow through us to help the individuals that are there within us at that time. Because that's what I love. Because people are like, oh, if I've done Reiki, and they're like, what did you do? And I'm like, I didn't do anything. I'm like British Telecoms. I'm just a messenger. I just hold that line, connect to them, to you.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what happens at the sound baths. And then people will get up, and then I always try, if something's came up for somebody during it, I always try to catch them before they leave. And I'll say, look, just take care of yourself. You might be a wee bit emotional tonight, or your head is running really fast. Are you okay? I like to make sure I check in with people because I do pick it up. The tools pick it up. And then if the tools went to somebody, you know that a wee bit extra healings went there, so they might feel the outcome of that. So I want to make sure people are aware, you know, you might feel a bit sleepy tomorrow, you might have a really, really good sleep tonight, but just to make them aware when they come in for Reiki, like they come in here and I just love doing Reiki on people, but they come in here and it's like, there's something about my wee treatment room, right? And they come in and they maybe have never seen me before because I've got an app you can book your Reiki on, right? And they'll maybe have booked through the app and they've never been before, and they'll come in and they just go, hiya, have you ever had Reiki before? No, but blah. And then they just like, and then they go, I don't know why I've just told you all of that. And it's like, there's some magic about that door. As soon as they come in and the door shuts, they just go, ah. Oh, honestly, it's amazing.
It's not.
It is
It's
amazing.
you. It's not the room. It's the inner. That's you're holding that space for them. It's you that is allowing them to feel comfortable, like you're saying with your healing. Do you know what I mean? You start to then feel comfortable with yourself. Like they're walking in and they're instantly feeling comfortable with you to be able to.
It's you just see it like it's like a weight just comes off them, as if, oh, I'm actually able to put this down for a minute. I think that's the most privileged place to be.
I'll say to some people, you might get a bit emotional. Then there'll be a message, I've not stopped crying for 2 days. And I'm like, let it out.
I don't cry. All right, okay. Well, as soon as you've said that, means we're going to have tears.
That's probably the ones that do cry the most.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I'm a crier. Like, I'll cry at
me
anything.
too.
I'm flicking through a TikTok and then there's a wee like newborn lamb because obviously we're in lambing season. I'm like, oh my god, I need my farrow. That's my goal. Have a farrow with my animals, and we can just go all healing in the wilderness.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Definitely place to be. Honestly, I'll build my own lake and everything.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
So you mentioned your app, right? So that people know where to find you. Obviously, all the information will be tagged down below so that they've got your social media and stuff like that. But your app,
I use the Booksy app. So I use the Booksy app, and it's for appointments within my treatment room.
Fab.
So Reiki, sound, Reiki, sound, sound therapy, and I do like little private sound baths in here, which is the cutest thing. Like I get all the bowls out, the gong, all that.
Yes, I love a wee one-to-one sound bath because I feel as if you get more vibration because obviously it's hitting.
And you're right here, and then I do a wee bit of sound, and then I do Reiki, then we finish with sound. I also do private cacao ceremonies in here, but cacao ceremonies are part of most of my events as well. So I've done that for years, Cacao.
If you are wanting to book one of your events, are the best to message you like on Instagram for that?
So my events I use the book when system. So I've got a booking system for that, for events, for classes, for events. That's on book when, so I can send you that link.
Yes.
And everything, all my links are on my website.
That's fab.
And you can find me Instagram and Facebook. Apparently, I should be doing TikTok, but I don't.
You should be on TikTok, especially with your ceremonies, like in your events, like that. Yeah.
Do you know, it's being that self-employed person, though, isn't it? Like, you have to be the marketing manager, the account director, you have to be the facilitator, the practitioner. Aye, the cleaner.
A small business owner.
Actually,
I'm having a podcast then as well, so
where do you sleep? Where do you sleep? I love it though. Do you know, I was in corporate for years and you just never I go to my bed every night feeling fulfilled.
Yes.
I never did back then.
Yes. I dreaded waking up in the morning at times when I worked for the big companies. Yeah.
I was in Barney Castle doing a sound bath on a Saturday night. I was doing a sound bath the next night. I was in here working with people doing Reiki and breath work.
Floating.
Like, I go to my bed every night and I'm like, I did something good today. Like, I made a wee bit of a difference to somebody.
Yes. And that's what I love. Like, that's what I love about this, like the sort of work that we do is the fact that we're wanting to help people heal and we're helping them on their journey. And when we get to see them, like making them changes for themselves and seeing them, like we might not see them for a couple of months and then the next time we see them, you're like, you look different.
And it's just their actual colour or their energy, and you can just see that. You can feel it. As much as I love, you know, seeing them in the room or seeing them at events, it's not from an ego place, right? That's it is like when you see them again and they'll say to you, I did this and they're dead proud of themselves. And you're like, and then you're celebrating for them, you know, because you're like, yes, because you've remembered how amazing you are.
Yes, and I think that comes from our own background, from do you know what I mean, the times that we have made the changes and being proud of yourself, because I feel as if that's like a big thing as well, as being like, I can say I'm proud of myself. I like I've been saying for long enough to do a podcast, and I'm actually doing it eventually this year, and I'm proud that I'm doing it. I'm doing events. I'm going to start doing events, and I'm proud that I'm this far, like already into like a small journey. And I'm like, healing's never going to be, I feel as if we're going to be healing into the grave. But I know for a fact, though, once I'm heading in there, my wee soul's off and loving life and healed and away to Barbados.
Like, I did a good job.
Yes, that's the thing I want. And it took me long enough, like you were saying, though, to feel like gratitude from our own life. Do you know what I mean? It's like feeling that, like, I'm grateful for what I've got. Not many people think that it's a lot, but you know what? I'm proud and I'm grateful for where I am now. And I know that I've got these hopes and dreams, but I know there will be a reality. I know that I'm manifesting. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
you're always taking action to the next bit.
Yes.
You're all, like, you're always doing it. Like, that's it. And if you just trust, which is something that I've went on a bit of a journey with the last 2 years.
Trusting.
Just trust. Trust.
I know. Because I think it's hard for people, though. It's like, I know that it's difficult when I tell people that in the readings. I'm like, you need to go on your healing journey. And they're like, I've been told that before. And I'm like, they're going to continue telling you that then until you start it. Like, you can't expect things to change when you're not making the changes. And I think trust is a big
trust. But then people will say, but where do you start? Where do you start with a healing journey? Well, you start by following your instincts. You start by following your instincts. And if your instinct said, I fancy going to that sound bath, you book it. I fancy going to that yoga class, you book it. Go and do it. See what happens.
Yeah. Well, that was
because
mine.
That one thing leads to the next thing.
100%. My friend took me into a spiritual development group. I thought it was a shadow work class because I just started, like, I was pulling card for day, being more mindful to myself, just trying different things.
Yeah.
And that day I learned that I could, for all the times that I've been told I could talk to dead people, that happened. And that was like the floodgates just, she has woken.
but all the guides were like, yes, she's finally here. They had a party.
She's been shoved in here. Thanks, Nicola.
Yes.
But like sitting that day and they're going, right, so we're going to learn. And I'm like, in turn to Nicola, like, this wasn't what I was I'm thinking I'm going to be doing all the inner healing and like, and it's like, no, we're going to connect with our guides. We're going to, I'm like, I'm
going to get that anyway.
Talk about it. So
it's coming anyway.
With that of no listening and no getting told, you get shoved in, like, you
100%. And see, if you do not listen, you literally have a massive crisis in your life, and that crisis removes anything that is in your road.
Yeah.
And the sad part about a crisis is you need to come back for a darker place. But you know what? Holy smokes, do you pull on every bit of strength you've got? So it all happens for a reason.
It definitely does. And I feel as if that's like, if they talk about, obviously you've got your climb and it's like you've got to hit rock bottom before you go up. Well, that's just going to be a rock bottom. Because I feel as if, like, when you start the healing journey, it's like you do have the pinnacles of being rock bottom because you are dealing with that hard stuff. You do need to have
breathing, you're doing all the things that go along with the hard stuff.
100%. And be vulnerable and be kind. I would say definitely to yourself more than anything. But I think we could probably talk all day.
Yeah.
We could talk all day. So we're going to wrap it up because I know that a lot of people that are listening to this will be like, oh, I want to hear more from Fiona. So we'll be doing that. So don't worry. Once we get everybody's podcast, then Fiona will be coming back. And we will be talking more about obviously what she does. And I will probably divulge into, I think the analysing of people. I was really intrigued with that. So I feel as if that might be a wee bit of a deep dive for us the next time.
Yeah. I find it fascinating, so I'll talk about that for hours.
We could literally just do one season on you.
All right. I used to be shy.
Never guessed.
Aye.
Everybody's enjoyed listening to us absolutely blab on, but Fiona, you've been an absolute delight. I've enjoyed everything that you have taught me today. It's been so enjoyable. That's really been the main part from it. But thank you for being vulnerable as well and sharing a wee bit of your story and letting us know, because I think that'll have, well, a lot of people, I think that's going to be very like, I get her, she gets me. I know, like, I think that's definitely going to be a big, what's that word that I'm thinking of? Synchronicity with a lot of our listeners on this. But thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome for coming. I'm honestly so excited for when we come back together again.
Aye. Good. I'm excited. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Right, and thank you everybody for listening. Fiona's details will be down the bottom, so you can go and give her a wee follow. And if you want to book any events or anything, all the links are down below.